Most women think men fall in love because of chemistry, the connection, the laughs, the attraction. But for men, love doesn't begin with butterflies. It begins with safety. A man doesn't fall for the woman who excites him. He falls for the woman who calms his nervous system, because excitement is what makes him chase you, but safety is what makes him stay. So once a man feels emotionally secure enough to be seen without judgment, his guard drops. That's when his attachment starts to build, not from passion, but from peace. And that's the shocking truth. Men don't fall in love with chaos, they fall in love with relief. And the reason why they fall in love with relief is because masculine psychology is wired to scan for threat and manage stress constantly, making emotional peace rare and precious. So when a man finds a woman whose presence actually calms rather than activates his nervous system, whose love feels like sanctuary rather than another performance or obligation, his body and mind recognize something irreplaceable that overrides fear of vulnerability, because relief from the constant pressure of masculine performance and stress is so profound that it becomes worth the risk of emotional investment, making peace the biological and psychological permission structure that allows love to develop. This is the reality about how men fall in love that contradicts everything popular culture teaches. It's not about being the most exciting, the most beautiful, or the most entertaining. It's about being the safest, most peaceful presence in his life, the person whose love doesn't add stress but relieves it. Most relationship advice focuses on creating attraction, chemistry, and excitement. All of those matter for getting his attention, but they don't create love. What creates love is the feeling that being with you is the emotional equivalent of finally being able to breathe deeply after holding his breath all day. See, the problem is that many women create intense attraction but never inspire love because they don't understand that men need safety before vulnerability, peace before passion, relief before romance. Without this foundation, attraction stays surface level and never deepens into genuine emotional investment. Hi, I'm Gabriel Hart from My Daily Love, and in this video we'll talk about what must happen before men can fall in love, and why understanding this prerequisite changes everything about how you approach creating lasting connection. Prerequisite number 1. You make him feel capable. The first thing that must happen before a man can fall in love is feeling capable in your eyes. Letting him contribute or help builds emotional pride, and love follows capability. Because men derive significant self-worth from being useful and effective, and they can't open their hearts to someone who makes them feel perpetually inadequate. Think of capability like the foundation of masculine self-esteem. From childhood, men are taught that their value comes from what they can do, how they can perform, what they can achieve. This creates deep wiring that ties self-worth to competence and contribution. Before a man can fall in love, he needs to feel that his presence makes a positive difference in your life. That when he contributes, helps, solves problems, or supports you, those efforts are valued and appreciated. This validation creates emotional pride that makes him feel worthy of love and safe to invest emotionally. When a woman makes a man feel incapable through constant criticism, redoing his contributions, dismissing his help, or comparing him unfavorably to others, she's destroying the foundation that love requires. He can't open his heart to someone who triggers shame about his competence. This doesn't mean being helpless or incapable yourself. It means creating opportunities for genuine contribution and appreciating those contributions even when they're done differently than you would have done them. It means acknowledging effort and intention, not just perfect outcomes. Men often approach help and problem-solving differently than women do. His way might not be your way. But when you appreciate his approach rather than criticizing it for not matching yours, you make him feel capable as he is rather than inadequate for being different. This capability feeling accumulates through small interactions. Does cooking for you, fixing something, giving advice, offering perspective, or helping in any way feel appreciated? Or does he feel that nothing he does is quite right, that you'd prefer if he didn't try? Women who inspire love in men make them feel genuinely valuable through their presence and contributions. Not because they pretend incompetence, but because they acknowledge genuine efforts and appreciate masculine contribution without demanding it match feminine approaches. From what I've seen, men fall deepest in love with women who make them feel capable and valuable, because this creates the emotional safety and pride that allows vulnerability. When he feels adequate and appreciated, he can risk the inadequacy that comes with emotional openness. Prerequisite number 2. He feels emotionally safe with you. Here's what most women completely miss about male psychology. Before love can develop, He must feel emotionally safe with you. When he realizes he can be himself, unfiltered and unjudged, that's when love starts. Because masculine socialization teaches men to hide vulnerability, making emotional safety rare and precious. Think of emotional safety like oxygen for the heart. Without it, love suffocates before it can grow. With it, love flourishes naturally because the conditions allow vulnerability that creates genuine intimacy. From childhood, men are taught that showing vulnerability invites attack, that being emotional is weakness, that needing others makes you contemptible. This conditioning creates walls around male hearts that only come down in environments of absolute safety. Before a man can fall in love, he needs to know that when he shows you his softer side, his fears, his insecurities, his failures, you won't use that information against him later. You won't mock or dismiss his feelings. You won't share his vulnerabilities with others. You won't lose respect for him when he's not strong. This emotional safety is established through consistent patterns over time. When he tentatively shares something vulnerable and you respond with acceptance rather than judgment, criticism, or dismissal, you're building safety. When conflicts arise and you don't weaponize his past disclosures, you're proving trustworthiness. Men test emotional safety unconsciously by sharing small vulnerabilities and watching how you respond. If you handle those small disclosures well, he gradually shares more. If you prove unsafe with small things, walls go up permanently and love can't develop because genuine intimacy requires vulnerability he won't risk. Emotional safety also means he can be imperfect without losing your affection. That having a bad day, making mistakes, or showing weakness doesn't make you pull away or lose respect. That your love is for his whole self, not just the strong, successful parts he shows the world. Quality men fall in love with women who make it safe to be human, flawed, and real. Not women who demand constant strength and performance, but women who can hold space for the full range of human experience without making vulnerability feel dangerous. The shocking truth is that this emotional safety matters more than attraction, chemistry, or compatibility. Without it, none of those other elements can mature into love because he'll never let his guard down enough to truly attach emotionally. Prerequisite number 3. You bring him peace. What if the most crucial prerequisite for love is peace? He associates you with calm, not drama, and men crave emotional peace more than passion. Because men spend their entire lives managing stress, competition, and pressure, making peace the rarest and most valuable gift a woman can offer. Think of peace like water in a desert. Most of life feels like desert to men. Constant pressure to perform, compete, achieve, be strong, manage stress. When they find someone who feels like water, like relief, like the ability to finally relax, that person becomes irreplaceable. Before a man can fall in love, his nervous system must associate you with peace rather than stress. This means your presence calms him rather than activates his stress responses. Time with you feels like relief from life's pressures rather than additional pressure to perform, manage emotions, or handle drama. This peace comes from emotional regulation. Can you handle life's challenges without creating crisis? Can you address conflicts calmly? Can you manage your own emotional state without making it his responsibility? These capabilities create the peace that allows his guard to drop. Men are hypersensitive to emotional volatility because it threatens the peace they crave. When a woman creates frequent drama, explosive reactions, or emotional chaos, his nervous system stays in defensive mode. He can be attracted, but he can't fall in love because love would mean permanent exposure to stress. But when a woman handles difficulty with grace, addresses issues calmly, maintains emotional equilibrium, and creates an environment where he can finally breathe, his nervous system recognizes something rare and valuable. This recognition allows attachment to form because being with her feels better than being without her. The peace prerequisite doesn't mean never having emotions or never addressing problems. It means handling both with maturity that doesn't create chaos. It means being a source of calm in his life rather than another source of stress requiring management. Men fall in love with women who make home feel like sanctuary rather than battleground, who make love feel like peace rather than obligation, who make emotional connection feel safe rather than dangerous. This peace is what allows the transformation from attraction to genuine love. Now, when all is said and done, the kind of peace that makes a man fall in love isn't passive or quiet submission. It's emotional intelligence, the ability to manage energy, regulate emotion, and create stability in chaos. It's what allows him to finally exhale in your presence, not because you never challenge him, but because even your challenges come with calm, structure, and respect. That's what makes peace addictive, not silence, but emotional control. But the challenge isn't just understanding that he craves peace. It's learning how to be genuinely peaceful and emotionally regulated while still maintaining your standards, addressing problems, and being your authentic self, because men can sense when peace is real versus when it's just conflict avoidance that will eventually explode. Most women either create constant drama through emotional volatility and unprocessed reactions that make him associate them with stress, pushing him away before love can develop, or they suppress all their needs and never address issues to seem peaceful, which creates resentment and prevents genuine intimacy because he's falling in love with a performance rather than the real you. Understanding how to bring genuine peace through emotional maturity and healthy communication while still honoring your feelings and maintaining boundaries is crucial because men need to experience you as a source of calm and emotional regulation to feel safe enough to fall in love, but that peace must be sustainable and authentic. The difference between women who create the peace that allows love to develop and those who either create chaos or fake peace often comes down to specific emotional regulation and communication techniques that maintain tranquility without self-abandonment. Comment peace, and I'll reveal the 3 ways to genuinely bring him peace that allows love to develop, versus the 3 approaches that either create the chaos he fears or require you to suppress yourself in unsustainable ways, and the exact framework for addressing issues peacefully while maintaining your authenticity and boundaries. Prerequisite number 4. You believe in his potential. The final prerequisite before a man can fall in love is feeling that you believe in his potential. When you reflect back his higher self, he feels inspired to become it. Because men need to feel that the woman they love sees not just who they are, but who they could become. Think of belief like a mirror that shows someone their best self. When a man looks at how you see him and he sees someone capable, strong, and worthy, he wants to rise to that vision. Your belief becomes motivation to become his better self. Before a man can fall in love, he needs to feel that you see his potential, not just his current limitations, that you recognize his dreams, his capabilities, his unrealized strengths, that you believe he's capable of more than maybe he currently believes about himself. This belief is different from trying to change him or seeing him as a project. It's recognizing and acknowledging the good qualities he already has while seeing the direction he's growing. It's supporting his goals and vision for himself rather than imposing your vision on him. When a woman believes in a man's potential, several things happen. First, he feels seen in deeper ways than just surface evaluation. Second, he feels inspired to actually pursue that potential because someone he cares about believes it's possible. Third, he associates her with his best self rather than his struggles or limitations. This belief shows up in how you talk about him, how you respond to his dreams and goals, whether you support or criticize his ambitions, whether you see possibilities or only problems. When he shares aspirations and you respond with belief rather than skepticism, you're building the foundation love requires. Men fall in love with women who make them want to be better men. Not through criticism or demands, but through genuine belief in their capability and potential. This belief creates aspiration that makes him associate you with his growth and best self. The key is that this belief must be genuine, not manipulative flattery. Men can sense when belief is real versus when it's performance designed to get something. Real belief is based on actually seeing his qualities and potential. Fake belief is transparent and ineffective.